Could the main character of Poppy Playtime, Poppy, be our enemy? This question has confused us in every chapter released. In the first chapter, we saved her, but in chapter 2, she didn't let us escape, and she turned from the friendly character at the beginning into a soulless demon. However, in chapter 3, she appeared again as our friend. At the end of chapter 2, we thought she was someone who betrayed us, but in chapter 3, everything changed. Poppy is initially introduced as an innocent character who wants to help us. In the third chapter, she says she will help us defeat the prototype. However, interestingly, in the third chapter, Poppy confesses that the person who trapped her in the glass case is actually the prototype, and she reveals the reason for the Hour of Joy. Initially appearing to be able to help us, Poppy becomes our friend by revealing the dark past of the factory and helping us defeat this evil entity. So, can we really be sure that Poppy is on our side? In the first chapter, Poppy is introduced as the first doll to talk back to children. Later on, we see that Poppy was trapped in a gas-filled case, and of course, we rescue her. In chapter 2, she expresses gratitude for being saved. This is why we need to carefully watch to understand what Poppy is really thinking and whose side she is on.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I was just trying to get the power back on. Here.
Poppy speaks with a very happy and carefree tone, but after learning that we defeated Mommy, there is a change in her voice, and she doesn't allow us to leave.
Did you kill her? Good. I'll board the train. We need to leave.
This happens because Poppy realizes that we can save the toys during playtime, so her mindset changes. Throughout the third chapter, we are faced with a serious and ambitious Poppy who will stop at nothing to defeat the prototype. However, there is a contradiction in her words. At the beginning of the second chapter, Poppy makes a plan with us to escape the factory. But in the third chapter, she clearly states that this is not the right option.
You try to escape? He'll kill you before you ever reach that front door. He's the reason I was trapped in that god-awful case for so long. You have no idea of the things he's done. Let me help you kill him. Let me help you save everyone. We've all seen you, how capable you are. You killed Huggy. You killed Mommy. You freed me. You are perfect for this.
So, why was there a sudden change in plans? This could have happened after we killed Mommy Longlegs. This was our second enemy that we defeated on our own, and it was also the first time we saw the prototype collecting limbs to build himself up. At this point, the prototype's attention could have shifted even more towards us, and he might have placed more security measures around the factory so it wouldn't be safe to just walk out. It could also mean that Poppy changed her story, convincing us to stay so that we could defeat the prototype. However, remember that Poppy herself admits that she had been thinking about defeating the prototype for a long time.
Do you know how long I've been stuck in that case? Well, too long. I had so much time to think and reflect. Time to figure out exactly what I would do when free. We'll set things right. Terrible things have happened. But I know that whatever I need you to do, you are capable. We will.
Could it be possible that Poppy outright deceived us? Perhaps she put on an act, pretending to help, but actually never intended for us to escape in the first place. Nevertheless, it seems like Poppy holds more power than we realize because remember, in the note given to the player in the first chapter, there was a call for us to find the flower. When we find this flower, we see that it's a painting of a poppy flower surrounding a door, and behind that door is where Poppy was being held. Clearly, Poppy couldn't have sent this letter because she was trapped in the case all that time. So the person who sent this letter might have wanted us to specifically find Poppy and free her. Doesn't this make you wonder how they knew we were still alive even after the hour of joy, and how they knew to send the letter to us specifically? But let's save this theory for another video. So why did Poppy want to be found? Perhaps they did this because they knew that she was a key point with a plan to defeat the prototype from the very beginning. When Poppy's attitude changes in the second chapter, her sinister tone almost sounds like she's speaking down to us. Poppy appears to be quite dominant for a toy that is only 2 feet tall, but what's important here is her establishing control. We can only do what she wants us to do. Notice how Poppy doesn't seem to care about our safety or why we returned to the factory in the first place. This might be a bit of a stretch, but even some of the toys seem to recognize Poppy's power. For example, Kissy immediately backs down after pouncing on us because Poppy says so. Dog Day refers to us as Poppy's angel, implying that we are working with her and under her command. Poppy is depicted as some sort of god, similar to how Catnap views the prototype. Obviously, the toys aren't building shrines for Poppy or praying to her in hopes of saving themselves, but it's conceivable that Poppy might have some sort of reputation throughout the factory. She seems to be accustomed to being an authority figure. But does this mean Poppy is actually evil? Could she be a malicious, bad character? Excluding the possible lying and belittling dialogues, Poppy hasn't actually done anything bad. As far as we know, she hasn't killed anyone or intentionally caused harm, and she considers the prototype as her only enemy, viewing it as evil. Can we really put these two characters on the same level when it comes to evilness? We could if Poppy and the prototype were working together, but there doesn't seem to be much evidence supporting that. Sure, Poppy has done things that make us distrust her, but what if it's for a good cause? Defeating the prototype is not an easy task. Who knows how many minions we are up against? They are tall, flexible, fast, violent, and downright terrifying. We don't even know how many followers the prototype has in total. Additionally, it's important to mention that Poppy is very small and fragile. She is also extremely old, made around 1950. And we're talking about a 55-year gap between that time and the present date mentioned in the 3rd chapter as 2005. Unlike the prototype, Poppy isn't collecting toys to make herself stronger. She knows she's not equal to Subject 1006 in terms of size and strength. However, her brain could possibly put up a fight. Let's take a look at Poppy's introduction commercial.
You are about to see the most incredible doll ever invented. Her name is Poppy, and she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world. A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers. She is the first doll actually able to have a conversation with a child. Hard to believe?
Poppy Playtime! Poppy's as lovable as a real girl, and she talks like one, too.
Hi, my name is Poppy. I love you. Can you help me polish my shoes?
Why, of course, Poppy. Just like a real girl, Poppy always wants to look her best.
Perfect! Thank you.
Her hair is sturdy and won't come out when you brush it, and smells just like a poppy flower. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Poppy?
I'm a real girl, just like you.
What's the time?
Playtime!
This seems a bit of a stretch because they're clearly referencing advanced technology surpassing the 1950s, but they still make a valid point. Poppy isn't stupid, and she knows what she's doing. Scientists working at Playtime Labs spent time, money, and energy perfecting Poppy's intelligence. She can probably solve problems, speak, make plans, and think for herself. If there's a toy that could ever match the intelligence of the prototype, it's certainly Poppy. So, what about her role during the hour of joy? After showing us the last VHS tape of the game, Poppy says,
I remember hearing every moment of it. It went on so long, so agonizingly long. They tried to hide, to run, anything to stay alive. I remember their cries, What's going on? Why is this happening? What are those things? Senseless slaughter, that's all it really was. They killed everyone. The guilty, the innocent, didn't matter. All that death didn't fix anything. And then?
So, how could Poppy hear the screams or run if she was locked away in her case? We don't know for sure when Poppy was trapped during the hour of joy. It could have been before or during the event. If it's the latter, then she would have had time to run or hide before being captured, because Poppy admitted that she had time to think and reflect while in her case. We know that she was conscious to some extent, so it's likely that she was also able to hear the chaos, especially since some workers were killed right outside of the room she was trapped in. Whatever the real story is, we still have much more to learn about Poppy and her role in the factory. Is Poppy truly our friend, or is she the real antagonist of the game? Perhaps she's neither, just someone who can be deceitful for the greater good. So what do I think? Maybe it's too early to say and there isn't enough evidence, but deep down, I have a feeling that Poppy is definitely an evil character, and she might even be more dangerous than Subject 1006. Why do I think this? Because Poppy was locked away in a case, and we essentially opened Pandora's box. If Poppy was truly innocent, she wouldn't have been locked away in the first place. We don't know why she was put in the case, but as someone who has watched a lot of movies and played many games, I am sure that no being is imprisoned without reason. I believe that whoever locked her away must have had a good reason. Also, my biggest evidence is Poppy's sudden change of demeanor in Chapter 2. She went from acting like a role-playing toy to a dull, lifeless state after we killed Mommy Longlegs. This, to me, is the true face of Poppy. Our biggest enemy is Poppy. I filmed this theory when Chapter 3 came out, so you might disagree with me, but I know my theory will be proven right in the upcoming chapters. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click on this video.